This screencast will introduce you on how to use JSHint. So as you know, for our class, we have to conform to various coding standards. And if you recall, for all the different various learning units that we have, I've introduced the coding standards to you a little at a time. So here we are in Learning Unit 5, and I'm displaying the JavaScript coding standards right now. And you can see that from this web page that there is an awful lot of coding standards. I mean, by now you know most of these coding standards. Here we are just about done with the semester. And it would be really awesome, wouldn't it, if there was a tool that could help you find these automatically. So it just so happens that there's a tool, and there's been a number of tools. One is called JSLint, but the one I'm going to show you is called JSHint. And it will allow you to sort of automatically find all of your coding standard violations. And so I'm going to show you how to use that. So if you go over to Blackboard and you select on the web links right over here, if you see the second entry I have here is an entry for the JSLint website. All right, and so let's go ahead and click on that, and that's going to bring up the JSHint site. And you can see here it populates with a Hello World program right here, and over on the right, on this section over here, is what we call the metrics. So anytime there is a coding violation over here, we will see it over here. So the other really cool thing is back over on the Blackboard tab, I have created for you a set of all of the directives or shortcuts that you can put at the top of the JSHint page right over here, which basically tells JSHint if there's any violations for these directives, then it'll let you know. And right over here, if we copy and paste this right here, this whole line, these are all of the directives that that allow us to conform to our coding standards for our course. So you highlight that, and if you're using a PC, that would be Control-C, or a Mac, it would be Command-C. And then we go back over to this window, and I'm going to highlight everything over here because I want to just delete that. And I'm going to type in Control-V, and that is going to paste this into this window over here. Okay, so now I've got this directive, and it's as a multi-line comment. And the next thing I need to do is paste in the code that I want to check. So I happen to have over here a little bit of a demonstration code right here with some coding violations, and we can see right over here that I have a web page right here where I've got the output of this program. So it's a pretty simple program. All it does is it loops from 0 to 100, and then every 10th value it accumulates that particular count in the results, and then outputs that to the web page. So here it is right over here. But if you look at it, you can see there's some coding standards violations, and it doesn't really look all that good either. It's not formatted really nicely. So what we do is we're going to go ahead and highlight the whole thing. So I'll put my mouse over here, and then I'm going to just say Control-A. That highlights everything. And then Control-C. So that puts it in my buffer. And I'm going to go back to the JSHint site right over here, and I'm going to paste it in, Control-V. And as you can see over here on the right, here are all the coding violations that I have. Okay? So that's a really, really convenient tool that we have here. So if I fix all of these, I will have fixed all the coding standard violations, and so when you hand projects into me, that's essentially free points. So I do expect that you will use this tool. It's a very handy tool to use. Okay, so what you can do is we can highlight these violations that we have here, and you can see that they show up over on the web page inside the code, which is also really, really convenient. So I can just start picking these off. So I'm going to highlight this right here on line 11. It says that this particular variable is expected to have an indentation at 5. Instead, it's at character location 1. So I'm just going to, I got my cursor there already, and I'm just going to space it over, and you can see that warning goes away. So I might as well just move the comment over here, make it look a little nicer. So my next one here is identifier min value is not in camel case. And if you recall, the constants need to be all uppercase words separated by underscores. So I'm going to go ahead and fix both of these right here because they're both violations, and as a result that messed this up over here. So I'm going to make sure I'm using the correct variable name here. Okay, so we fixed that. Alright, so what's our next violation? Okay, these are not indented correctly. Expected to have an indentation of 5 instead of found an indentation at 7. So go ahead and back that up a little bit. Alright, and that went away. Alright, let's go to the next one. Okay, so I am missing a space after 4. Alright, we'll fix that. And we've got space that it shouldn't have after these parentheses. Okay, and then same here, fix that. And we got a missing a space here, so we want to fix that. See, we're just kind of knocking them off right now. Okay, here's one here on line 22. So we need to use the really equals, so the equal equal. And we need a space right here, a space right here. And hey, look at that, we're missing a semicolon. Okay, we'll fix that. And line 24, move that over there. Oh, and hey, results is not found. Okay, so we need to define that variable. So I'll go ahead and define results. And I think while I'm at it here, go ahead and put a comment here saying these are our constants. And, oh, look at that, count is not defined, so let's define that too. Okay, great. And then we're left with this one warning, which is JSHint usage is defined but never used. And that's okay, because it actually gets used from our web page. So our web page is actually calling this. So, so now I've got all of my violations fixed. All right, and the next thing I can do is I can just copy this whole thing right here, and I'll put that in my buffer. And then we go back over to our text file here, and then we'll just replace this with the updated version and save that. And there we go. That's how we can fix all of our bugs in JSHint.